accusations. There is a civil case in the courts of the US. Let us wait for the results of the civil case. And let's go on. Let's go on. From now on, no questions, no answer in the CIP for me. No answers. So you ask me, I respectfully tell you, with great respect, wait for the RICO case. That's what I'm going to tell you from now on.
And the RICO case might take forever. Who knows? You might leave office without providing any kind of answers to the people of St. Lucia. So a simple question like, how many files have been granted to Galaxy Caribbean or Caribbean Galaxy thus far? You can address this. The Prime Minister needs to thoroughly address this issue. Take the advice of Mr. Richard Pitterkin. I think the advice that he has given to the government of St. Lucia, politically and otherwise, should be embraced. Because this whole CIP matter, as much as the Prime Minister will decide not to speak on it, the Prime Minister will choose to ignore the issue, it certainly is not going away in a hurry. The Prime Minister has to address it. If not the Prime Minister, therefore the island's investment minister should do so. Because people, and you see, what happens, I sound like the Prime Minister now when I say, you see, what happens in this country very often is that when politicians are addressing issues, when questions are being asked, they focus primarily on their political opponents or people they deem to be their opponents. And they don't want to address the issues, as if they're giving in, to the demands and the requests that are being made by politicians. But as far as CIP is concerned, it's not an issue for mainly politicians on the opposite side. It is an issue that is begging for some kind of address. Questions that are begging for answers from the perspective of St. Lucians, well-minded St. Lucians, honest St. Lucians, St. Lucians who are curious. St. Lucians want to find out exactly what is happening with their passports and what is happening with the CIP funds. Kimani, what's happening in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone is saying, wait for the science, wait for the RICO case. Another comment, Tim, this is the point where people like me get tired of speaking and typing on all the nonsensical happenings in St. Lucia. This is the time for action. I was taught actions speak louder than words. When did that change? Someone says the vendors need a vendors mall, not a tea. They're in need of proper facilities to accommodate their customers. Another comment, you have more information than Martinez, Peter King. We will all know soon. At this point, people like you carry no weight. Someone says, so PM, we must all sit and wait for the decision of the RICO case. What a cop-out. So no updates from our government. So has he given in to whatever the outcome of the court and no effort on our part to understand what's happening with our passports or money? Someone says, words of wisdom, the truth doesn't mind being questioned. A lie does not like being challenged. Let's see what else. So, Tim, who's going to answer questions on the CIP? What's wrong with these ministers? Tim, you don't put a cat to watch a fish. Someone says, come out and tell the people the truth. That's it for me, Tim.
Let's see this. Somebody says that, Tim, I didn't hear what is happening with your co-worker, Kim. All the best to her. Anyway, tell PJP he came in being the most readied Prime Minister. We hope he is the most ready-did opposition leader at the end of his term. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a call on the landline. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
Tim, good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon, Makulid, Sagafet.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon.
Ah, c'est juste ça, je suis fait, Tim.
Dis-moi.
Moi, je suis fait parce que mieux shoot encore les sur les ailes.
Non, pas... Non, pas voler yo shoot yo swe. Un moun ti ka kouri de a voler. Voler a some shoot li. C'est ça qui fait. So ni wrong.
Ok, ebe mwen te wè a te a, ma a ki mwen ya, men mwen tan to.
Le vini pou wasko ou se un expert. Asou ba isa ou wrong asou sa.
Wasko, se jisa wasko pa, mani piyes ke mwen klen do wasko, pis blon ka tombe, la tri ka tombe, si ten mi glo, mani piyes am kon klen do wasko. Wasko te hala visite glo, si ten nou pou moun pez a fey.
Ok, Makoulid.
Bon, adi Koumani, bonjou. Koumani, mwen tan yo di ou pa kaye lankon, so mwen ka souwete ou bien, mwen souwete ou bien kote ou ka le a pou bon Dieu beba ou pli benediksyon pa se vanyan. E pou chebe stodou, si se stodou ka stodou pou mi an bon wivini an stodou.
Merci, Makoulid.
Ok, Makoulid, di a bon bout simen. Merci pou kouye.
Mwen ka di Tim. Bon, Tim, mwen nan lak bay pou e di. Ti bay la yon chute la ki mi 14 years la. Papa yi se yon afeg. Ti manye fami se moun na ki chute la pa vle de misya pou te we ti bay la. Misya afeg, i ban testo afeg, yo si posen de misya pou te we ti mamay la. Well,
you pour charge. You are charge. You are chebe amon. You are charge li. Maybe you pour henli coupable. Moi quoi c'est nous toutes ici, including gouvernement, qui ni pour aider ces moun sa.
Oui, nous tous ni pour mettre en bas à demander pour ti maman la terre, puis monsieur a toi va nous connaître monsieur. Met monsieur c'est Jean moi.
OK.
C'est na c'était bon Dieu kay bay en manière pour me ici en bas là.
OK, Makoulid, merci. Merci beaucoup. Somebody in the chat room just said that I was thinking of having Makoulid replace Kimani but I'm having second thoughts. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Hi, Timothy. How are you?
Hi. Good afternoon. Yes, Mr. Martinez. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the time. I just want to react a little bit about Mr. Hilaire's intervention on the show yesterday. I was a little bit disappointed, I must say. I don't think that it was the right venue or choice of reporter to give to the people, not to me, but the response that the people were expecting, such as how many allocation has Galaxy received or where is the money. I think that it should have been done with a proper reporter that asks a real question. I'm not going to discuss about the polemic and the way that Mr. Frederick has attacked me, but I just wanted him to know, because he said that I do know everything about him, and I look forward to meet him when I come to St. Lucia face to face, because I've learned that sometimes the one that speaks the loudest doesn't mean that he's the strongest. But let's talk about fact. One thing that your listener should know, yes, a RICO case can take as much as 5 years. I am 100% convinced that before the end of 2024, this thing will be done, and that you will see major changes in the CBI program and in the way people are doing business. The CBI industry is not regulated at all. And one of the main issues, if you take historically what happened in St. Kitts and what's happening in St. Lucia now, we have investigated for 2 years. I sent you earlier, Tim, one piece of evidence that has been already filed in the RICO lawsuit, which is the WhatsApp communication between the Attorney General of St. Kitts and a lawyer, where the Attorney General, and this is public record, that's already been filed in the RICO lawsuit, so you can put it on screen if you want. This is public record, where the Attorney General of St. Kitts, his name is Garth Wilkin, confess and explain that the Galaxy operation is a good scam. This is not Philip Martinez saying, this is the Attorney General of St. Kitts. Outline the fact that the share, the unit, are sold at $75,000. And the fact that individual and politician, I'm not going to mention who they are, but it's written on the WhatsApp messages, have received payoff. Okay? Now, this is written by the Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis. The same Attorney General that I have tried from August 2022 to July 2023, and the government of St. Kitts, where my team, my lawyers, have approached them at least on 10 occasions to tell them, would you please review the evidence of fraud, money laundering, and corruption? And they've refused. Exactly what is doing now, what's happening now with the government of St. Lucia. Now, the chain of events went as follows. After 10 attempts to provide the evidence of fraud, underselling, corruption, and money laundering, we got tired of asking, and we went to the United States and provided everything to the US Department of Justice. And we are keep providing everything. Because I believe, Tim, let me be very clear, I believe this is a criminal matter. So I've initiated 1 year ago an action to provide all evidence, every single evidence, to the US Department of Justice. I'm waiting now to see the outcome of their analysis. Now, yesterday, because I do believe that Mr. Hilaire is an intelligent man. You know, he's a sophisticated and intelligent man. And I was disappointed that he chose the venue last night to address that problem. And I understand why he chose that venue, but I'm disappointed because he is much better than this, okay? He owes me no response, right? He owes response to the citizen of his country, such as a question like you ask yourself, how many units have you given Galaxy, where is the money, things like that, right? Me, I don't need a response. I have the evidence, and I will provide them in US court. Now, there are two things that he said that I want to rectify, because those are things that are incorrect. Did Alain Chastenay brought Galaxy to the country? Absolutely. We know that. Did Alain Chastenay give 700 units to Galaxy? Absolutely. Did Alain Chastenay open an escrow account with Galaxy in Hong Kong? Absolutely. Because no bank in St. Lucia allowed him to open an escrow account, right? That's not the problem. The problem is, on top of the 700 units, 5,300 units have been allocated to Galaxy for the same real estate project. And 7,000 additional units has been given to Galaxy with no escrow account, no control on the infrastructure project. The second problem is that they're selling the citizenship at half the price. I have the contract, the invoice, for one of the main sales agents selling for Galaxy. and for St. Lucia. Okay? Now, Mr. Hilaire said yesterday that we want him to join us to sue Galaxy. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. On April 18, I gave the opportunity of Mr. Hilaire to come to DC, and people have to stop. People have to stop also saying fake news such as we summoned. We didn't summon anybody. We invited the Prime Minister and Mr. Hilaire, okay, to come to DC to review the evidence. We knew what was going on, and we had the evidence. And we wanted the opportunity to tell them face to face, guys, here's the evidence. We know what you're doing. Stop it. Because, so first point is, no, we don't need to join them. We don't need them to join us. We're big enough. We've already filed the RICO case, and we're suing them. We're suing Galaxy, and we're suing the people associated to the scam. Now, we are not suing the country. The people of St. Lucia needs to understand that we're not suing the country and are not asking for any type of compensation for the country. So one fact that Mr. Hilaire said wrong is that we're asking him to join us in a lawsuit against Galaxy. Wrong. The second thing that he said that is totally wrong and is misleading the people, he said, well, we're St. Lucia, we have nothing to do with you. Okay? Wrong. St. Lucia is part of the CBI countries in the Caribbean that are selling. St. Lucia is using the US dollar and the US corresponding bank, and the CIP executive are coming to the United States to promote the Galaxy scheme. I've met them in the United States, in New York. We met them in Miami. So if you're going to promote a scheme with Galaxy where we know that you're selling illegally, then don't come to the United States. If you're going to give away thousands and thousands of citizenship to the Chinese for nothing, well, don't use the US dollar for that, and don't use the corresponding bank in the US. Do not come to promote your product in the United States. If you're going to use, we have the evidence, a Chinese due diligence company controlled by Galaxy to perform due diligence, then I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to have problem, and every passport that has been investigated by that Chinese due diligence company needs to be investigated to protect the countries that are actually receiving those visitors with your passport. So St. Lucia is not an isolated island. It's part of a global community that has reciprocity agreement with the Treasury, with OECS, and the European Community, and the EU, and the UK. So it's wrong, right? And if you're allowing Galaxy to sell the citizenship for half the price, well, then you're going to have a problem, because not only you're defrauding the market, but on top of that, you are defrauding the people of your country, right? Now, I believe this is a very wonderful and exciting time, right? Now, you said something yesterday in one of your shows, Tim, which I believe that is very correct, that the problem is inaction, right? Now, I lived for 3 years in the Caribbean, and I can tell you for a fact that you are 100% correct, except that I would add one thing. The problem is inaction and corruption. Because our 2 years investigation showed us that this scheme, this legal scheme, was only possible because of corruption. Now, I am very proud that I reported what I believe is a criminal matter to the US authority. Now, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts is fully aware of that. The Attorney General of St. Kitts is fully aware of what I've done. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia is fully aware of it. I guarantee you Mr. McLeod is fully aware of it. And Mr. Hilaire is fully aware. Their problem is they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to come and how do we fix it. You have the WhatsApp messages of the Attorney General St. confessing the fraud of Galaxy and the corruption. And now he is so embarrassed that not only he has not opened an investigation in St. Kitts, not prosecuted Galaxy, but that they process 22,000 passports per their own admission in Parliament. So you have to understand that they're very annoyed that MSR team and myself decided to bring the matter to the US authority. After that, way after that, 9 months after bringing all the evidence to the US authority, every single evidence, we then looked at also our own interest, which is the RICO case, right? Now, one other thing that Mr. Hilaire said that is wrong, he said that we want, and Chastenay wants the people of St. Lucia to join MSR to sue the US bank. Wrong. Contrary, we want the US bank to be protected from the money laundering aspect associated to that fraud. That's why we are discussing with the lawyer of Bank of America. Okay? We have said one thing. Because the banks in Asia of Galaxy, HSBC and Hang Seng Bank, have failed to do the normal banking due diligence that the applicant paid the legal price, they are responsible. End of story. They are liable, right? Now, I can tell you for a fact that none of the governments are going to do any actions to recover the money. Because Mr. Hilaire is right about one thing, the contract that he signed for the 13,000 unit give Galaxy the rights to keep the proceeds of the money. He's right about that. He's not lying at all about that. We're challenging why those contracts were done and why an extraordinary amount of citizenship were given. And that amount was given, we believe, and that's what we're going to prove in court, that because they knew that they were underselling the citizenship. We have the evidence, we have the contract. So what we said is that at some stage, if the citizens, not the government will never do it. You see the text message of the Attorney General of St. Kitts. He has confessed of the fraud and the corruption. Did he do an investigation? No. Did he charge criminally Galaxy or Lescan? No. Okay? So that's never going to happen. But can the regular citizen, you, Timothy, at some stage join in class action lawsuit against the banks in Asia that have failed to protect the interests of this program? Absolutely. There is a way to do that. Absolutely. And that's what Mr. Chastenay has discussed with us when I suggested that idea to him. Okay? Now, to conclude, because I don't want to take too much of your time, you just passed a clip of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia saying that he will make no comment until the RICO case is over, right? Now, I can tell you that next week, because since I'm getting annoyed, I must say, by the inaction and the lies, okay, I will choose a venue next week, and I will publish certain documents that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia not only is fully aware, but is proactive to try to stop this. Okay? So what he's saying in public is not the reality of what's behind the curtain, right? So I will reveal that next week, because now I'm starting to be annoyed a little bit of the constant lie and hoping that they're going to play the game of trying to delay the RICO case. If you have to wait for the RICO case to get your money, well, that's going to be in 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 years. And I'm telling you, Timothy, without a doubt, this thing will be over by the end of 2024. The level of criminality that is involved in the structure created by Galaxy and Lescan is beyond imagination. And I believe it's an exciting time, because the inaction of trying to put under the carpet what has been going on ends. And that's going to be a new birth for a much stronger, much more dynamic CBI industry that can attract real investors, people that actually invest money, create. Timothy, we have invested ourselves $35 million in St. Kitts and Nevis production and hotel before we even sold one citizenship, right? So now is not the time for these people to come on their show, interviewed by their fellow colorful minister, to say, oh, I've read a newspaper saying that Martinez cannot sell his citizenship. Do you know why, Tim? That newspaper is operated by the friend of the co-defendant in the RICO case. So the guy writes every day. This is just a propaganda thing. Tim, the company that represents us is called Henley Partners. They are the one that is our sales agent to sell citizenship. They are the biggest company in the world, and they happen to be the marketer and the advisor of the government of St. Lucia in respect to CBI. And I can tell you that if the Prime Minister wants to know what really is going on, and he knows full well what's going on, he can simply have a Zoom call between me and, not even me, he can talk to the chairman of Henley. Mr. MacLeod is known famously in the CBI industry for having said that St. Lucia wants to win the race to the bottom, meaning we sell as cheap as we can the citizenship. So here's my promise to you. Because I'm a little bit tired of the lie and the denial, and you have the text message of the AG of St. Kitts to show you that these people knows what they've done. Next week, I will choose a venue, and I will reveal 2 documents. And you will see that what the Prime Minister says in public is different to what he says privately, right? And finally, not to end and not to take too much of your time, this problem is not just St. Lucia and St. Kitts. It's the same problem in Dominica. Right now, despite the fact that Dominica has signed the MOA, despite the fact that they lost Bank of America and they cannot receive a dime from the corresponding bank, the sales agents are still selling now out of Dubai at a cheaper price. The same, I received today evidence that a company equivalent to Galaxy is doing the same in Grenada. The only country that's not mixed up in that old crap is Antigua Bermuda. That's the only country where in 2 years investigation we have not found. Now, bottom line is this is a major problem. There is a civil lawsuit indeed, which is a RICO case. I believe that all of this will be finished by the end of 2024 because the situation has become too sensitive in respect to the banks, in respect to the due diligence, and in respect to money laundering. That's it.
Thank you Thank you so much for speaking with us on this afternoon's NewsSpin program, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, just up there from the CEO of MSR Media, Mr. Philip Martinez, called and made a contribution to this program about 25 minutes. Deliberately did not interrupt because we need to hear his perspective, and I've always given the other side, the government of St. Lucia, the opportunity to appear on this broadcast to present its case to the people of St. Lucia. And the invitation is still open to the Prime Minister, Mr. Philip J. Pierre, also the Investment Minister and the folks at the CIP. Which gives me another opportunity again to play you that clip by Mr. Richard Pitterkin. Because clearly, based on what we're hearing from Mr. Martinez, based on what we have been hearing from Dr. Ernest Hilaire, and to a certain extent hearing from the Prime Minister of this country, there needs to be some clarity needs to be brought to this whole issue. Not to the satisfaction of the opposition, not to the satisfaction of so-called detractors of the government, but to the satisfaction of the people of St. Lucia. And if the authorities have any regard, any respect for the people of this country, they definitely will take the opportunity to address that issue thoroughly to the satisfaction of the people of this country. Again, let us hear from Mr. Richard Pitterkin.
There's insufficient transparency for the average person, whether it be in St. Lucia or any other part of the world, to determine for themselves whether the allegations that have been made by Mr. Martinez or by the leader of the opposition are in fact true. And so most people were recommending to the minister, is there a way, now that you have come to a common agreement with the rest of the OECS as to how the CIP program should be run, the price of the products, how you go about doing your due diligence, etc., maybe the OECS is the best forum to deal on a confidential basis with some of these allegations so we can get rid of the people like Martinez who may have their own personal agendas in the cases they raise. And if it turns out at a hearing, at that high level by independent people outside of St. Lucia, not politically involved, come to the conclusion that St. Lucia made mistakes or committed more serious crimes, then we have to deal with it. But we need the facts. We need more transparency to make sure that this does not continue to be a problem going all the way into the next election.
Mr. Richard Pitterkin, you just heard him there speaking during a report which was filed recently by Choice Television, Choice News. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it is called NewsSpin. We have a notice coming from Lucilec. Lucilec wishes to advise the motoring public and residents of Mon Repos, that's over in Micoud, that there will be ongoing traffic disruptions at La Pointe, Loba, Patience, La Ho, Mon Repos, and surrounding areas. And that is from Monday, August the 12th, and continuing until Friday, August the 30th of 2024. The works, which may result in intermittent traffic disruptions, are necessary to allow Lucilec to undertake tree trimming operations and pole and line maintenance in these areas. Road users are encouraged to be mindful of the various safety measures, such as reflective tape, cones, barriers, and warning signs that will be put in place to designate the work area. Lucilec regrets any inconvenience to residents of the affected communities and the motoring public, and would like to thank the public for their understanding and patience. Still to come, some more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Electricity powers our favorite appliances and devices. But leaving your devices on or even plugged in when not in use can waste energy. Wasted energy that runs up your bill. when not in use. Switch off, unplug, save energy, and save your appliances and devices. It's the smart thing to do. Saving energy is what's smart.
Good morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Let's head back to school.
It's time to get the children ready to head back to school with a back-to-school loan from First National Bank. Get up to $30,000 for all your back-to-school needs. No deposit required, low interest rates, and an easy process. Visit any First National Bank location or call 455-7127 for more information. Let's head back to school with First National Bank. Terms and conditions apply. First National Bank, here for you.
This is We Summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow.
Summer comes with a message for ya. Switch it up, this is We Summer. Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer. Hey.
Who got the best deals? It's Flow. Bundle postpaid Wi-Fi, you go. Cut your bill in half, save more for sure.
This is We Summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus, get up to 4 Samsung Galaxy smartphones for only $4.
15,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that.
Win $15,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top up, or pay up with Flow.
Summer, Flow says this is We Summer. We Summer.
Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
Open and win with Guinness Bike Life under the Crown promotion. Over $100,000 worth of prizes to be won. That's right. Guinness and Guinness Smooth gives you the opportunity to ride away with a brand new motorbike, an ATV, and or $5,000 cash. Lots of other instant prizes to be won, including smart TVs, smartphones, AirPods, Guinness merchandise, fuel vouchers, grocery vouchers, free Guinness, and lots of cash. To participate in the grand prize draw for the motorbike, you need to collect 6 Guinness crowns, 3 of the left bike symbol and 3 of the right bike symbol. Place the 6 crowns in an envelope with name, address, and contact number. To participate in the grand prize draw for the ATV, you need to collect 6 Guinness Smooth crowns, 3 of the left ATV symbol and 3 of the right ATV symbol. Place the 6 crowns in an envelope with name, address, and contact number. Envelopes can be picked up and dropped off at the following locations: Heineken St. Lucia Warehouse in Union Castries and SDI Warehouse, St. Jude's Viewport. Promotion starts August 15th through to October 15th. Draw takes place October 22nd. Drink and live responsibly. This promotion is approved by the St. Lucia National Lotteries.
St. Lucia, get ready for the ultimate flavor explosion at KFC. Introducing the new Bacon Melt Sandwich. That's right, the crispy, juicy KFC chicken you love, topped with melted cheese, crispy bacon, and your choice of mayo or barbecue sauce, all nestled in a soft sesame seed bun.
Your taste buds ready, come and try. KFC's new Bacon Melt Sandwich is great, no lie. Crispy chicken, bacon, cheese flavor certified with mayo or barbecue. Anyone you must try. For just $25, get this combo deal. Fries and a drink, it's a steal. Head to KFC, cause you don't wanna miss a Bacon Melt Sandwich, have it on your list.
Available at all KFC locations island-wide. WhatsApp 484-0400 or visit kfcslu.com for delivery and more.
Gade mweti boy, pa fe la fimela.
Stop all that smoke, fume and noise. Keep the emissions to zero and be a hero for the environment. You can still do all your lawn mowing, brush cutting, leaf blowing, hedge trimming, even chainsawing, but with a battery-powered machine. Europa is now offering a buy one, get one free on professional battery tools. When you buy the tool, we'll throw in the battery absolutely free. Yes, you heard right. You get one free battery with the purchase of any steel professional machine.
PS la fime, PS Desord. Merci papa.
Visit Europa in Massad, Grosley or call us at 452-0763. Europa, we service what we sell.
Experience world-class healthcare right here at home. La Clinique du Corps is thrilled to unveil our new location in Cocoville, Rodney Bay. No more overseas trips for specialized care. Our expert rheumatologists, neurologists, and pain specialists are now at your doorstep. Imagine cutting-edge medical imaging and diagnostics combined with compassionate, personalized attention. That's the La Clinique du Corps difference. From general medical services to advanced specialties, we're revolutionizing local healthcare. Our mission? enhance your experience, and optimize your health outcomes. Why settle for less when excellence is just a call away? Dial 451-6559 to schedule your appointment at either our Castries or new Cocoville Rodney Bay location. Act now, and for a limited time, enjoy a 20% discount on our services. La Clinique du Corps, bringing you tomorrow's healthcare today.
The CPL is back for 2024, and the St. Lucia Kings are hunting for their first title. This year, it will be the best ever CPL, with global superstars, massive sixes, and incredible entertainment at the biggest party in sport. There are 4 games between September 7th and 15th. Get your tickets now at cplt20.com. Turn it up and experience cricket played louder.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
Ouais, messieurs, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow. Si t'en la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, me money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. You need toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. You need pli mer pour pomme cette ici. You ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Brand pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est Major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moins actuellement. Glo ka fonte. Europa ni pump glo Léo en pour les nerfs, orange et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452 0763.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We have a call online. Hello, good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon, Rick.
Wow. Tim, I think Martinez heard me the last time I spoke and misconstrued what I said.
Mm-hmm.
It has reached me that, in fact, when he called you, I think he was under the impression that I called him a con man. I did not. What I said was, if, like we're hearing everywhere, he was a con man, he was this and that, and then I went on to ask questions. I listened to him, and I have to tell you, I am never comfortable listening to Martinez. Maybe it's his way with English, maybe it's what he chooses to postpone telling us. Those things, they bother me. But if I were interviewing Mr. Martinez, I would not be interested in anything he's going to tell me next week. I'd be interested in what I want to know now. So what you plan for next week, I'll interview you next week on that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he does not, but I am less interested, by the way, in the singer, who is Martinez, than I am interested in the song, which is St. Lucia, a very serious set of allegations made of St. Lucia. And all we have are government ministers accused of members of a government interviewing one another, and a large portion of the public are hooked into this comicality. It's like me suspected of something that I need to come out and say something with, and I show up with a jury of my children and relatives. Are you hearing this, Tim?
Yeah.
We have such a thing, even with our sparse press corps. We have 2 or 3 people that I think that the public Well, it's not a matter of trusting a press person. It's another stupidity. Because you don't have to trust Rick Wayne or Dale or Lisa. It doesn't matter what you think of us. We are asking straightforward questions of a government that is supposed that took an oath to be open with the people, to look after the people's interests above all else. So how can you have feelings about Rick Wayne that matter in a press conference? Huh?
It ought not to be that case, that way.
But that's what we have, and we nurture that. And I feel so sorry in some ways. I feel embarrassed in other ways, because I know a lot of people I esteem are listening to your program because they send me notes on it. They give me calls on it. And I feel very embarrassed. This country that I love to hate, okay? It's still, I choose to be here. It's a country I love to hate. Most really nationalistic people love to hate their country, you know, Tim.
Yes.
The loving to hate your country means you tell it like it is for the betterment of your country, even though what you're saying is not nice.
Yeah.
It's like when the government says we are giving our country a bad name. I would like that defined. What does it mean to give a country a bad name? What is the bad name of Germany that affects the German economy and the people of the country? None. And Germany is responsible for Hitler and Nazis. But that's history. That does not affect the economy of Germany. The economy of Australia is not affected. So what is this thing about giving us a bad name and making that the mortal sin? That is a decoy thing. We're not giving our country a bad name. We give our country, we do our country a disservice when we allow murder upon murder upon murder to be piled up and are apparently doing nothing about it, unconcerned. We do our country a disservice, and that disservice begins at home. All that people overseas will do is say, boy, this country is dangerous and it comes. But we still, and they can go and have a holiday somewhere else. But we have to live as a country. We have to live as a community. We have to trust our institutions.
But this thing about giving the country a bad name as well. Look at the situation with the likes of England and the United States and Canada. They stand out for a lot of things, including press freedom. And with press freedom, you have a press that will not always tell you things that you want to hear as a people. Look at what happens in Parliament in the UK. Look at what happens in Congress in the United States, and the various positions that are taken by various interest groups and, of course, the citizens. I mean, probably you have lived in England. Nearly every other day you have somebody protesting in England for some reason. Okay?
Right
that doesn't have anything to do with the wider society. The same thing with the United States. Protest after protest. Does not mean that they don't love their country, and this does not certainly bring some kind of spell or makes the country look bad.
And neither, Tim, neither does it mean you have to tell anybody the way to love their country.
Yeah.
That is a well-established tenet, you know. You cannot tell me how to love St. Lucia. And if I don't love St. Lucia in the way you claim to love St. Lucia, like forget about it, we don't want to hear bad things about St. Lucia, it gives us a bad name. That's your love for St. Lucia. Well, my love of St. Lucia is I want St. Lucia as free as possible of crime. I want St. Lucia with the courts operating fairly. I need St. Lucia for every person to have equal rights. That's the St. Lucia I love. I'm free to love St. Lucia my way, and you are free to love it your way. But don't punish me or victimize me or interfere with my free speech. And I think it's a con. I don't think this is, and that word is getting popular these days. Again, it's a serious con of people for whose intelligence you have no respect. I told you before, when a guy stands before a crowd and says one-on-one makes it, it's because he knows he can say that, and the sheep will run with it. Martinez says a lot of things that disturb me about Martinez. And by the way, he has his own motivations. But when a Michael what's his name? The guy who went up with Trump, the witness.
Oh, I can't remember his
He
name.
was a
The attorney.
No,
Cohen.
yeah, the former
No.
attorney.
Was it Cohen? He's no longer an attorney.
Michael Cohen, I think that's what his name is.
Yeah, Cohen. Cohen.
Yeah. The prosecutor told the jury that Michael Cohen's reputation sucks. He's admitted to you that he has done this and done that, but that is precisely the kind of guy a crooked prime minister or a crooked president or a crooked CEO will recruit to do the dirty work for him.
Those are the people who work with the CIA and the FBI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you know, in the case of Martinez,
And also, Rick, we are being hypocritical when we call people like Martinez a fraudster and ignore what he's saying. Okay, the issues that he's highlighting. But at the same time, Rick, we want to say when somebody has served their time in prison and they are released into the society, give them a chance. Don't hold that against them. Don't stigmatize them.
that one is another story for another show. What a second chance. You know, for me, that's a special show.
Okay.
We don't necessarily agree.
Mm.
But Martinez has his own motivations. We understand that.
Yeah.
But if pursuing his own motivations, the man says very, very serious things about, of all things, CIP, which was under the microscope and has been troublesome from day one.
Not only about CIP, Rick, but some things that pertain to our passports, our patrimony.
Well, the CIP is what it is, isn't it?
No, I just want to be more
CIP is our
specific.
passport.
I just want to make it more specific.
Exactly. What's his name? From day one, the St. Vincent Gonzalez gave you all his things about it. I wrote from the minute Von Lewis announced that he was going to be doing whatever he was going to be doing at the very beginning. I wrote negative of it, and my main concern in the article was due diligence, because we have never had a history for due diligence, and due diligence means looking at the facts. We're not into that. Our reputation has been who is going to pay us more. When I asked John Compton if he wins the election, who is he going to choose to have the relationship with, diplomatic relationship with, Taiwan, Taipei, or Beijing? And he said both. And I said, well, it can't be. And he still pursued that. He misunderstood. And he said, whoever gives us more. And I said, well, there's a word for that. He said, you mean prostitute? But that's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
Compton said that on the air with me. That is what we are. We have to survive as prostitutes. So at least he had already in his mind that we beg and sometimes we compromise and sometimes we do worse than whatever. But he knew it. Survival, he knew it. He acknowledged it. It seems nobody cares. We have no institutions. Who is going to cause an investigation one way or the other into this COVID matter? Who is going to cause it? The government? We're going to have a situation like we saw last night, and I'm not picking on what they said. They might have spoken everything but it's true. But I would still be disturbed. Two ministers from the same government that's under pressure defending one another. That is almost.
Well, that's serious business, Rick. And one sitting on the other hand cannot help but just giggle, just smile, because it makes that makes absolutely no sense at all.
Whatsoever.
It does not make sense.
None. Now there was a time like Richard spoke to you a while ago. I listened to Richard.
Peter Kin. As a matter of fact, it was extracted from a report aired by Choice Television.
Well, I don't know. Richard always speaks in my good friend. Richard always speaks in what I consider parabolic terms, parables. Okay? And I tell him so. So it's nothing. We agree to disagree on things. But the point is, we need not to go and look out for independent parties outside the country or whatever. In the days of George Adler, it wouldn't be under the banner of any political party, whatever George's personal ambitions might be, which I don't give a damn about. But George Adler would get going some public discussion, and with the likelihood of protest, and sometimes there was protest, about things that he considered wrong in the country, and he done it to both parties as well. Okay? Who in St. Lucia now can we look for? Because that's what we need in this country, Protest action graduated. You don't just go and start doing this and that. You first of all ask properly for answers. The Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, should be putting questions to the Parliament. We know that's going to be a waste of time. We know in advance it's going to be a waste of time if Alan Chasney, as leader of the opposition, put questions to the Speaker to be answered by them. If things are normal, then we have no reason to believe that would ever get anywhere. Am I right?
Yes, you're correct.
Then what a shame that we know in advance, or we have reason to believe that anything like that is going nowhere. We know that we have absolutely no guarantees when a court case will be heard. Do you know, Tim, that in England there is something called the Criminal Injuries Commission? Did you know that?
No.
And any citizen, anybody who gets hurt physically or mentally by criminals can claim for compensation under that Criminal Injuries Commission Act. You get what I'm saying there? In effect, the government takes responsibility for things happening to its citizens that it did not protect. Can you think of something, any politician in this country, when we all claim we're putting people first? You ever heard anybody even hint at something like that? Let us have a Criminal Injuries Commission. You have things like duress, whatever you call it, distress fund, and they alone can discuss what is distress or not. And again, is the government deciding all those things? The government of the day, I don't mean Labour Party today, I mean whatever government, they are judge, jury, and executioner. That can never work when we're talking about politicians. When will we understand that? I heard somebody talking today about who is a good leader and who is not a good leader. And we don't realize there's a world of difference between a leader of a party, which is already partisan and all those things, as opposed to the leader of the other party. They are set up to make war with each other. They are set up to block each other. They are set up to make sure the other one doesn't get into office. That is the main concern of the governing party, that the other party does not get into office, and they will use the state trappings to prevent the other party from getting into office. So their primary concern is keeping the other party by whatever means, and they have, by the way, the government has all the trappings of the state. The government has the trappings to prevent court cases from happening. The government has the trappings for not giving money to a particular, a very important department. The government has all the reins in its hands, and the opposition has none, even though the law says he has. And when the law says he has, there are no sanctions, there are no fines in place. It's all a mirage, Tim.
We have to go. Time is against us, Rick. So let me give you the opportunity to say goodbye to Kimani. That's the last day on the program.
That is very good thinking, Tim. Because I would have forgotten and I regretted it. Can I address Kimani directly?
Go right ahead.
Kimani, I hope you had your decision was even in a small way influenced by reading lapses and infelicities.
Yes,
even in a small way.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes, it was, Rick.
Thank you very much for that. That's highly complimentary. I was hoping I would get an answer like that from you. I've never met you, but if I were to judge you long distance, you seem a very ambitious young lady, a very intelligent lady. You're very personable, and that stands out. Even the job you were doing there with Tim, if I may shows you a woman with balls. Okay, so, and you're young. I pass on my old age experience onto you. Believe in yourself. Do not be overly concerned with what other people tell you should be doing when they haven't done it themselves. Find out for yourselves what turns out, what is a mistake today will be a lesson learned for the future. And the things that are most depressing right now, as a writer, as a communicator, as somebody in journalism, you will find they are fantastic pieces for what you're going to write. Live a little. Don't. You have to live to be a writer, a communicator, etc. So live. You have to live life. Don't just put yourself under some kind of cocoon or something. Live life, because that's what you're going to be writing about. That is what's going to direct your views on things as you communicate with people. I wish you the very best of luck. I know NewsSpin is going to miss you. I'm going to miss my little digs. A lot of people are going to miss you. And it tells a lot that in such a short time, you've made such an impact on the psyche of St. Lucians. Wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate
Rick.
the advice and
Thank
the
you so
kind
much.
words.
Yeah,
All the best to you, Rick, and have a great weekend. Well, Kimani, we have to conclude, and I have to thank you very much once again for being a part of this broadcast. Initially, when it was suggested that you should be a part of NewsSpin, I was a little skeptical because NewsSpin has been a one-man show from 2002. When I say one-man show, just producing the program and hosting it, but you've had input, and that has certainly led to the success of the broadcast, the input of the audience.
Yes.
Because the thing about NewsSpin is that no matter how many clips that I have and interviews that I prepare and so on, the pace of the program is dictated by the audience, by the callers. And that is why NewsSpin is so unique. And if I should say so, that's why NewsSpin has been so successful. So against that background, I'm a little skeptical about bringing in Kimani, very young lady and so on, does not have the life experience of understanding the political issues which would have impacted St. Lucia for so long. But that, in a nutshell, was your advantage.
Yes.
You know, that was your strength, that you did not understand it, so you came there not having some kind of perspective, preconceived, impression of things that have happened, and therefore you came there as a political analyst who was a novice, in a way, in terms of understand what had transpired before. So going forward, you did so intelligently and also innocently too, and sometimes viciously. Viciously, that's a new word, viciously. When you ask me things like, but Tim, you really think that so and so they really care and so on, you think they really, that would cause my blood to boil a bit,
really?
But I wouldn't show it. But I wouldn't show it, So, but you brought something that was very unique to the broadcast, and I'm sure for that people will miss you a great deal. If I could be a little mischievous, the day you're leaving, I wish I could just call the airport and say, there's a bomb there, and
Oh gosh, Tim.
say, Kimani, you can't go, you can, and on that basis, you can never leave, to go overseas and study. But seriously, I wish you all the best. I think that's the best move for you.
Thank you.
Right now, to go and to study. Kimani, if you're just joining the broadcast, Kimani will be leaving St. Lucia very soon to pursue her studies somewhere overseas at some university. We will not make that disclosure. And I have every confidence that you will return to St. Lucia to make a valuable contribution to the island. So I read somewhere that you are a product of NewsSpin. Okay?
I am.
And I'm happy that the NewsSpin family played a tremendous role in helping you become the person that you are. I'm sure that you're more enlightened,
Yes.
you're a lot braver
I am.
than you were a year and 6 months ago, because you cannot be on this broadcast and be a wimp. So all the
Indeed.
best. So all the best to you.
Thank you so much, Tim, and I will definitely miss NewsSpin, you as well, and every single individual who made my time on NewsSpin, although albeit short, made it very enjoyable.
That's all?
That's all for me, too.
All right. Thank you so much, Kimani, for being a part of this great institution, which is NewsSpin, the most monitored talk show in the world. My name is Timothy Poleon. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back, God willing, Monday afternoon, 12:30, without Kimani, with another edition of NewsSpin. Goodbye.